General management, management styles and levels of management. Hello, let me ask you a question. Have you seen this guy somewhere? Remember this guy? If I ask you this question, what was his management style? What would you say? Well, let us explore the different management styles, and at the end of exploring, you would be able to say what was his management style. So, we'll look at 4 different management styles. So, let's get started. Let's see the first one. What does it say? Autocratic management style. In this management style, we say that one person has complete control over everything. In fact, the decisions are taken by this one person and only this person, and no one else has a say in it. Think about it, even in any one organization, within an organization, you will have different types of management styles of different leaders. So, this management style is an individual aspect. So, each person has a different management style. When you are leading a team, you would have a different management style as well. So, once you know about these 4 management styles, at the end of it, you would not only be able to say what that guy, whose picture I showed you, had as his management style, but you would also be able to probably identify what is your management style. So, as I said, autocratic, okay, so one person's complete control, it means that this person is taking all the decisions, no one has a say, and this person will decide whatever needs to be done. In fact, when you work under such a leader, either you leave or you conform to what this leader is saying to just stay put where you are. Alright, let's move to the next management style. Let's see what that has in store for us. Paternalistic. Okay, this word comes from the word paternal meaning parent or fatherly figure. So, in this case, as you can see, there is a similarity with the autocratic part. One individual has the authority. But the difference is, in this case, this one individual cares about people more than the business or the profits or results. You see the difference here? It's not the business or the profits that would matter if there's a conflict between choosing between people versus the business or the profits and results. Is that a correct approach or not? That's something that I'm not going to tell you, because you can take a decision on that. As I said, each person has a different management style. Think about it from the perspective of, say, a parent, okay, a father or a mother. For a parent, the child is most important. The child's interest is most important. Everything else can go whichever way it can, but the child's interest has to be taken care of. And this is what this paternalistic style does. This person behaves like a parent who cares about the people in his or her team more than anything else. So, this is the paternalistic style. Let's look at the third management style. This is a democratic style. Democracy, like our country is a democracy. So, in a democracy, what do? Everybody has a say. So, in a democratic style, what the leader does is, the leader allows the employees, the people, the members of the team to have their say in the decision making process. So, a democratic leader would go to his team or go to her team and ask, what should we do? What do you think we should do? And everybody has the freedom of expressing what they think, and then at the end of it, a decision can be taken together on which is the best approach. So, opinions of people really count here, as you can see. So, this is the democratic style. Let's move on to the final one, the final style, which is called laissez-faire. It comes from the French word, and it means allow to do. You allow to do. this is a liberal management style. It's a very liberal management style. What does a laissez-faire leader do? Well, you see there's a delegation of authority and subordinates can take decisions on their own. They're independent. They can independently take decisions in certain aspects. So, there's a complete delegation of authority on certain aspects, and that is what a laissez-faire leader does. In fact, this kind of a style requires inspirational leadership. The leader has to be very inspirational. The leader has to inspire his people, and on the other hand, it requires strong and creative subordinates. The subordinates have to be strong enough to be able to take those decisions independently, and the subordinates also have to show creativity, because without that problems cannot be solved. So, as you can see, this is perhaps the most liberal management style, and there are certain leaders who follow this laissez-faire style. Now, when you look at all of these four together, autocratic, paternalistic, democratic and laissez-faire, you can then think about any organization, any place. If you are a student, think about your professors. If you are in school, think about your teachers. If you are working in an office, think about the leaders, the managers in your organization, and try to put names on each of these. For example, autocratic. Think about the people you know and then think, who are these people who have the autocratic management style, who are all in all, who take decisions and no one has a say in the process. They will do everything in terms of taking decisions. They have the final word. In fact, the first word and the last word. That's autocratic. You can even think about public figures, politicians, industrialists, whoever you've read about, you will then know who could fall under this category of autocratic management style. And then think about paternalistic style. Again, people who care about people only and not the business or the processes or the profits or the results. Again, think about your own, the people you know who could fall under one of these categories. So, under paternalistic, do you know some people who have this kind of a style? And then you have democratic, which is also a management style. Think about people who could be under democratic management style. And finally, laissez-faire, you might know people who have this particular type of management style. And you will find people in all of these four management styles. Now, what is right, what is wrong is not a question here. Rather, let's think of it in this way. Let me leave you with this particular thought because it's important that you start thinking about it. Sometimes there are certain situations which demand an autocratic style. For example, there is no time for a democratic process. You've got very little time, you've got to take a decision and just move ahead really quickly. You probably need an autocratic style at that point in time. On the other hand, there are times when the people require to be looked after in a particular situation, then you take a stand for the people. There could be a situation where you have time and in fact you require different thoughts, you require brainstorming, you require different ideas, a variety of ideas. That's when you follow a democratic style. On the other hand, there could be situations where you know that you have capable team members, capable subordinates who are experts in their own domains, and you can let them take that decision on their own in their domains. So, as you can see, this could be an approach. It's just a way of thinking. You don't have to be autocratic all the time or paternalistic all the time or democratic all the time or follow laissez-faire all the time. You could rather be situational as well. So, think about this. Think about these management styles and think about the people you know, as well as at the end of it, think about that guy whose picture I showed you, and also think about yourself. What is your management style, or are you well balanced? Think about that. Alright. Now, let us move on to the next point, which is levels of management. So, we have already discussed management styles. Now, let's look at the levels of management. I am going to tell you about 3 levels of management. The first level of management is senior management, right at the top. They are the top management. So, what do? They operate at a strategic level. You need these people at the top who can see the high level picture. They are the ones who would operate at a strategic level. They are the ones who would set organizational objectives. They will give direction to the organization. And they are the ones who would determine the company policies. Yes, the people right at the top management are the ones who do all of these. Many people criticize the senior management, but then you have to understand people at different levels have their own objectives as well as responsibilities and challenges. So, senior management have their own challenges. So, you have to understand that they are actually operating at a different level, at a strategic level, and they are setting these objectives, these directions, and determining the company policies. There is another level of management. We go to the second part now. We go down a little bit to middle management, and middle management operates at a tactical level and executes existing policies and sets departmental objectives. So, operates at a tactical level means that they are not at the strategic level, but what they are doing is there are certain policies which the senior management have created. So, they have to tactically approach these policies and these processes and make them happen. So, that is what tactical level is, and they are always setting these departmental objectives, because people in the middle management, they are in particular departments, in particular functions. So, they have their own departmental objectives which they set, which are aligning to the overall objectives, organizational objectives which the senior management have set. And that is how they proceed, that is how they operate. And finally, if you move down to the next level, which is the operational management part, they work at the operational level. It's the day-to-day work. They're responsible for the day-to-day issues, the day-to-day processes, everyday work that is being done by this particular level. In any organization, if you study, you will find that you have a smaller number of people right at the top who are in the senior management, and then a few more people in the middle management, and most of the people are working at the operational level. But all of them have to be in sync. The goals are being passed down from the senior management to middle management to the operational management team, and together in sync they are working to ensure that at the end of the day the organizational objectives are met. Now we have to look at the skills required by employees. I do get this question very often where people ask me what kind of skills are required by different employees. And I can give you a simple answer at this point in time, wherein I am looking at these different levels again. I am looking at the senior managers, I am looking at the middle managers, I am looking at the operational managers. If you look at this screen right now, if you look at this picture, this diagram that I've got, here I'm going to try and explain to you what this means. There's this triangle, and there's this inverted triangle, and there's this rectangle. What does it mean? See, right at the bottom, you have on the left, the table says operational managers. And if you see, there are three types of skills that I have mentioned: technical or domain skills, and then we have conceptual skills, and then we have interpersonal skills. So, operational managers, if you see, they primarily require technical or domain skills. That's the triangle you see of the technical or domain skills. Middle managers require less of technical or domain skills, and senior managers require the least. It doesn't mean that they don't need it, but it's the least. Now, if I go to conceptual skills, you see operational managers require it the least. They don't really need too much of conceptual skills. Middle managers need some, but senior managers primarily require conceptual skills because they are at the strategic level. And interpersonal skills is common to all. You have to have interpersonal skills. There are certain soft skills that you must have. There are certain interpersonal skills that you must have, which must be there at each and every level. So, this is how we look at skills required by employees from a higher level. Of course, when we go deeper down, we can look at what do you mean by conceptual skills and what are the different competencies you must have in terms of conceptual skills, or even technical or domain skills or interpersonal skills. The decisions the senior managers take are called strategic decisions. Why? Because these are the decisions that involve long-term aspects and goals of the organization. That I said earlier also, that the senior managers are looking at things from a higher level. they're looking at a longer term, they're looking at the overall vision of the organization, they're looking at the long-term aspects and goals of the organization. So they have to take a lot of strategic decisions, they have to take the steps to ensure that the organization is proceeding in the right direction. On the other hand, the decisions that are taken by middle managers, as I have told you earlier, are tactical decisions. So these are decisions that involve the key initiatives and actions to achieve the overall strategy and goals that the senior management have set. But then they are also involved in a single business function. So there are multiple middle managers, each are responsible for certain business functions which are aligned to the overall strategy and goals of the organization, and they are taking tactical decisions, the initiatives and actions that are required to be taken from their business function perspective to be able to achieve the overall strategy and goals. Okay, and then finally, when we look at the operational managers or at the executive level, they are taking these routine decisions that are concerned with routine or regular problems that involve short-term problem solving and goal achievement. So while the senior management are looking at the longer term, the middle management are looking at the tactical aspects and looking at both short-term and middle term as well. The operational part is primarily short-term. So day-to-day work, routine work, regular problems have to be solved, the work has to be done, the actions have to be taken. They are the ones who are taking the actions and making things happen. But then, as you can see, if the operational managers are doing their work well and doing the day-to-day problem solving and goal achievement, then automatically that is what the middle management is also achieving the overall things. They are guiding the operational managers as well. And finally, from a senior management perspective, if everything is being done well by the operational managers and by the middle managers, then the senior managers are also able to look at things from that higher level and see if things are being achieved or not. And as you can see and understand that all of them have to work in sync. The synchronization has to be really good. To sum it up again, levels of management, 3 levels I talked about: senior management, middle management and operational management. So these are the different management styles and levels of management. Think about it. The best way to remember all these points is to think of practical examples. Think about people you know, think about their management styles, think about the organizations. If you are doing an internship in an organization, if you're working in an organization, think about the levels of management that are there in your own organization. And if you are a student, then read some case studies. Try to understand what each of these levels of management are doing. I hope the concepts are now very clear. Please go ahead, revise, watch this video again if you would like. Alright, thank you very much.